let's jump right into our headline topic. GeForce Now just got a pretty significant upgrade. It now, wait, is this not in the thing? But no. Okay, well, whatever. The point is that GeForce Now supports variable refresh rate. Which I have to confess, having not been briefed on this by anyone at Nvidia or done any research into it whatsoever, I have no idea how that would work. Knowing that in order for your monitor to know what refresh rate to run at, it talks to your GPU, and the fact that your GPU is streaming over that there internet, pretty freaking cool. Now, it sort of seems like it might have something to do with NVIDIA's own drivers, because right now variable refresh rate is limited to people who are running a relatively modern NVIDIA GPU. So GTX 1650, RTX 2000 and up, which sort of raises the question why you're paying for GeForce Now in the first place, because you already have a decent GPU. But then, hold on, that theory gets kind of thrown in the garbage and lit on fire the second that you realize that on a Mac, you have support for variable refresh rate on Apple GPUs, or, get this, AMD GPUs on the older Intel-based Macs. So
what the heck? That
would seem to suggest that NVIDIA is just kind of arbitrarily locking Windows users who don't have GeForce GPUs into fixed refresh rate operation on GeForce Now. Then again, you know, if the market share numbers that I was just looking at earlier this week are anything to go by, that's basically nobody.
Might not matter, yeah.
NVIDIA's market share in the discrete GPU space is unbelievable. And what's really wild about it right now is AMD has a pretty competitive lineup. If you're not looking at ray tracing, if you're not looking at,
which most people aren't,
AI-powered frame generation, where they do still have a significant advantage.
People do care about that.
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
That one, the ray tracing part.
But if you mostly care about rasterized gaming performance, traditional gaming performance, AMD actually has a pretty competitive lineup between their older 6000 series and their newer 7000 series cards.
I will say though, if you look at like settings guides for games, everyone's turning that stuff on these days. Everybody.
Yep. And it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Anywho, it is now $10 a month, and that gets you a premium rig with RTX on, up to 1080p resolution, up to 60 FPS, and up to a 6-hour session length, though you can start a new session at any time.
Weird.
Well, I get it. I mean,
just in case you're idling?
Let's say you were a popular, streamer / YouTuber, and were gaming when your heart unexpectedly stopped beating. Well, then this way, GeForce Now or Nvidia would not be on the hook for streaming all that game data over the course of an entire weekend.
Sure.
It's not hypothetical.
Oh. Wow.
This guy knows.
I don't.
It was a whole thing.
Wow. Oh boy.
So, anywho, the point is that Ultimate is $20 a month and gets you an RTX 4080 rig.
I'm up to speed.
With RTX on, up to 4K resolution, up to 120 FPS, and 8-hour session lengths. I really don't see the 6-hour session length
why is there a differentiator here?
That big of a problem in the first place. But hey, you can game for 8 hours straight with GeForce Now Ultimate.
It's the weird part to me is that it's only 2 more hours.
Of course, none of this is what I'm upset about. All of that is pretty cool. There are some limitations around the variable refresh rate support. I don't believe it works with multi-monitors, for example. But overall, I think that is super cool. The thing that I'm kind of butthurt about is their priority day passes. Now, in fairness to Nvidia, I am not super supportive of the free month concept. Okay. Give us your credit card and you get a free month.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that this is the solution. A priority
business question.
Yes.
Would you enable that for Floatplane if there was trials on Floatplane?
Yeah.
You said you're not a huge fan?
I'm not.
Sounds good.
Sorry, it's well enough established practice at this point that I'm looking at it going, as long as it's very easy to cancel
and super transparent.
That's our bar. So when we're working with sponsors, for example, sometimes community members will flag for us that a service is difficult
Dark
to cancel.
Patterns, whatever else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where I draw the line. Whereas a free trial is a free trial, especially if it gives you very real access to the service. And in our case, this isn't the kind of service that is effectively useless for the trial period. Like, you know, you look at some services like, oh, here, I'll pick on a long-time sponsor. I'll pick on Squarespace. Squarespace, their trial exists.
Oh, yeah.
Not so you can actually like have a website for any amount of time. You kind of
set it up and see if you're satisfied.
So you can dink around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And, right? So something like that, you know, honestly.
Someone could, if we had a trial period, someone could queue download the entire site.
If Squarespace had a paid trial, I believe their trial is free. So if Squarespace had a paid trial, you know, I'd be a little annoyed by that. Let me just see. Yeah, get your trial start. No credit card required. So because theirs is kind of useless during the trial period, they're doing the right thing, and the trial is free. So for our part, if we're taking payment information, my expectation is that the service is very unfettered usable during that time.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we would offer a 1-month trial. Maybe we'd offer a shorter trial. But what I can say is,
I was thinking like a week or less.
We probably wouldn't be doing this. Yeah. For a 1-day pass for the regular tier or the priority day pass, you are going to pay $4, which I guess is fine, except that a full month is $10. What exactly is Nvidia trying to achieve here with a $4 day? Okay, so Ultimate is going to cost you $8 compared to $20 a month. Why would anyone in their right mind pay 40% of the price of an entire month for 1 day? And again, in fairness to Nvidia, I'm not a huge fan of the whole take your credit card now and then hope you forget about the subscription model. It's become the standard.
You know what would be cool?
But everyone knows why they do that. And this is something, but why not just, I mean, it's obvious. It just, who cares? It should be $1 or $2.
This idea is free, and I love this idea.
Sure.
What if it contributed towards your first month?
I would be far more okay with that.
But it's it's a pretty brutal percentage. But if you do subscribe for the month, it's like, well, I got to try it now. I still feel like it should be cheaper, but I would like it if it contributed towards the
honestly, I think it should just be. I would be happier with a free month trial.
It shouldn't be $1. It's too cheap.
Or just have me subscribe for the full month and prorate me a partial refund if I'm not happy with it or something. Like I just don't really understand what Nvidia is trying to achieve here. If the idea was to create a very low barrier of entry so that I can try it before I buy it, then it should actually be cheap. The barrier's too high.
Yeah.
The barrier's way too high. I think they don't want
to process a bunch of $2 payments.
Which is fair enough. But if processing that $2 payment locks someone into a subscription, if it turns them into a subscribing customer, mission freaking accomplished. And I can understand Nvidia not wanting to just give away GeForce Now because it, as we know, is extremely expensive for them to run, both in terms of processing, like actual power, and in terms of bandwidth. This is a very premium service. Even on Nvidia's side, their costs are high. So I get that they want to cover the costs and they don't want to do free trials. But this is such a weird non-solution that I'm having a hard time imagining the sort of the penny pinching that was going on in the board meeting where they were making this decision. Like, are they actually worried that on a 1-day pass, someone is going to do, 4 6-hour sessions in a row to really get the maximum out of it? And so they have to charge $4 versus $1 or $2. Like, come on, you guys. If the idea is just to get the credit card, which realistically, from a marketing standpoint, is 90% of the battle, is getting someone to create an account and enter their credit card.
There's a free tier.
That's worth the few dollars. Yeah, it's ad supported.
Yeah.
So realistically, is it really your concern that you're going to lose money on people who want to try Priority and Ultimate if you don't charge them enough? I can't really follow. I just don't really follow. Yeah, we've got people saying like the $4 should get you a week. Yeah, if $10 is a month, I could totally see $4 being a week. And then at least we're kind of talking about people kind of paying approximately the same amount per time used. And we're talking about a period of time when you could actually potentially, when you have a vacation, binge a game. Like, it's actually useful. Where $4 for, I don't know. I have nothing else to say other than that I just don't really get it. I think it should be a lower price. Yeah, it should be a lower price. The day pass idea, I actually love. I think that's really cool. If we could do a float plane day pass, I'd be super into that. We haven't built the mechanisms for trials and for...
I don't think it works very well for our service, to be completely honest.
I mean, it could. I don't think
unless it doesn't include download.
I think, yeah, something like that could work.
That might be all right.
Yeah. There's definitely some stuff that we need to explore in terms of driving people to float plane. We're going to be trying something new today. We're going to be doing...
Are we?
Hopefully.
What?
Are we not?
Doing what?
Float plane exclusive Afterparty.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're playing Super Checks.
I already forgot about that.
That was
I'm
like
down.
6 minutes ago.
I immediately started to think like some feature launch or something. I was like, oh no. What am I not ready for?
We're back to Linus-led development.
Yeah. Oh man. The fear in his eyes. Yeah. I legitimately was like, what am I not ready for? I don't know.
You actually looked extremely frightened. I lulled inside.
Oh man.